everybody. We're getting ready to do lesson 8.3 part 2, pre-algebra math today. And for today's lesson, part 2, 8.3, you will have 12 points on your classwork sheet. Have that out in front of you students now. And then 0 points will go into your notebook. And let's go right into part 2 of 8.3. So writing and graphing an equation. Canoeing. You are canoeing along a 12-mile stretch of river. You travel 4 miles per hour when paddling and 2 miles per hour when drifting. Write and graph an equation describing your possible paddling and drifting times for the trip. Give 3 possible combinations of paddling and drifting time. So 1, to write an equation. Let x be the paddling time and let y be the drifting time. These will both be in hours. First, write a verbal model. So we have paddling distance and then we have drifting distance. And what we have here is our paddling rate when we paddle and then when we drift, right? So we have paddling rate times paddling time. Here's our paddling time here. And then plus our paddling time plus our drifting rate times our drifting time. So we have paddling rate times paddling time, and then drifting rate times drifting time. That will give us our equation, which will equal total distance. Okay, so to find our equation here, use the verbal model to write the equation. So we know we have 4x plus 2y equals 12. Our total mileage is 12. So to graph the equation, find and use the intercepts. So here, find the x-intercept for up here. So to find our x-intercept, our key variable here in this situation will be y. So 4x plus 2 times 0, when y equals 0, that is our x axis here. So when y equals 0, 4x equals 12, and then 4x equals 12, and then x will equal 3. So right here would be our, this will be our time when our y equals 0 up here, which is our drifting time. So when drifting time is 0, we travel the 12 miles in 3 hours. Okay, so we need to find our y-intercept equals 0. So if we drift the whole time, so if we don't paddle, all we do is drift, that would be x equals 0. We have no paddling time. 4 times 0 plus 2y equals 12. And then when we do that, 2y equals 12. Y will equal 6. And then here would be a graph of this 4x plus 2y equals 12. So when our paddling time is 0, our drifting time will be 6 hours. And then when we paddle solid and drift the whole time, we'll cover that distance in 3 hours. And how do we sum that up? We go 3 points in the graph for 0, 6, which is here, and then 2, 2. Well, we have a 2, 2 here. Here's a 2, 2 here, and 3, 0. So here's our 3 points. So we have another point at 2, 2 on this line here. So you can either not paddle at all and drift for 6 hours, or paddle for 2 hours and drift for 2 hours. That'd be right here. 2, 2 will be right there. Or you can paddle for 3 hours and not drift at all. So those are your 3 different choices. And they're all on this line, students. Everything on this line. Here would be another thing here when you paddled for 1 hour and then you have to drift for 4 hours. And then down here you have fractions in between. So that would be the line here that describes your paddling time and your drifting time to go 12 miles. So let's try an actual problem now. Our guided practice. This is you students. Pay attention up here. So you can do your independent practice, students, okay? So we have transportation at the start of a trip. You will fill up your car's fuel tank with gas. After you drive for X hours, the amount Y in gallons of gas remaining is given by the equation y equals 18 minus 2x. After how many hours of driving do you have only 1/4 of a tank of gas left? Is the question down here, students. Find the x and y intercept of the given equations of the graph. Use the intercepts to graph the equation. So this is from up here. This is your A. This is going to pertain to this up here. So for this, the gas tank problem, here's how you would set it up. It would be 1/4 times 18 equals 1/4 times 18 over 1 equals 1 times 18, which is our 1/4 times 18. 1 times 18 over 4 times 1 equals 9 over 2, which will equal 4.5. Excuse me. So y equals 18 minus 2x. We plug in here. 4.5 is our y here. We're solving for y. So 4.5 will equal 18 minus 2x. And then we're going to solve here for x. So we're going to subtract 18 from both sides. And then we're going to divide by 2. So we have 13.5 negative divided by -2. So this is negative 2x over negative 2. So we have 6 3/4 equals x. So after 6 3/4 hours of driving, 1/4 tank of gas would be left. And as your 8.3 Part 2 Pre-algebra math lesson, animated PowerPoint math video, ALO.com. Thank you.